pre-flop, it was $50 to win one on center. Otherwise, let's just put it in, you would have lost, if you, so just that, scale that 200,000 to win 1,000 versus 50,000 to win 1,000, so on and so forth. What about the straddles on some of these as well?
Yeah, and that's the problem, is that the straddle at a prediction market, you're paying like a little bit of fees, commissions, but there is no straddle. It's minus 5,000 plus 5,000. Right. I only do the American pricing. I'm sorry. I know people I understand mathematically you're supposed to say, the 98 and the 2, and talk about the percentages. And it makes all the math sense in the world.
It's a different language, but, once you become adept at the language, you will be fluent in it as well.
Yeah, I can't. I'm like an American. I can't do meters. I can't do cubits. I can't do any of that.
Anyway, so the straddle obviously in that match was the sizable, but that difference in straddle exists in all tennis matches, prediction markets versus sports books, in all sports. Baseball is the biggest example.
And VSiN does a great job with their live bets, over on these games, and they talk about what the line is, currently. But I'll say it, it's completely worthless when you're talking about a money line once a team becomes a large favorite, because all the time, oh, do you want to lay minus 800 or do you want to take, plus 425? And it's I want to get a gaming license and I want to book the bets in either direction, because the straddle is so egregious in each direction that they're basically, that market would be saying the correct line is minus 610 plus 610, right? So I'll round it. So if it's minus 600 plus 600, it's going to be so rare that you're going to have a good bet taking 4-1 on the underdog, and it's going to be so rare that you're going to have a good bet laying, minus 800 on the favorite. It's just too big of a differential. I just dismiss it. It's not to say there won't be a good bet on a rare occasion, but even in baseball, like live betting, Boston's minus 170 and Atlanta's plus 133. No, thank you. Yeah. Nobody wins playing into those straddles. Maybe Wishnev, maybe Todd.
Did you see Matt Kalish's latest salvo defending the business model of limiting sharp bettors? Did you see that latest?
Yes, and I was really disappointed. So Matt Kalish, one of the founders of DraftKings, correct? So he came on, and every one of these guys...
No longer with DraftKings, I don't believe. I think he's got his own thing now.
I believe so.
Yeah.
But every one of these guys, it's like the industry standard where when asked about limiting people, they come out and they always say, well, it's very important that we can limit people. Example, we really like to limit problem gamblers because we're concerned. It's like Gary Loveman used to do this all the time. We're very concerned about our gamblers, and if you're gambling too much or you're having an issue. And my point is, the truth is those are their best customers. How many people, Gil, do you know that they gamble too much, they don't gamble very well, and they gamble with money that they shouldn't be gambling with, just in town? Many. Dozens, probably, right? Me too. Yeah. How many of them have been limited at one sports book or one casino?
0.
0.0. I literally know people that are, have gone bankrupt gambling, and they've never been limited. So don't come out and lead with, hey, the number one reason we want to be able to limit people is to protect, the problem gambler. No, you know what their definition of problem gamblers are? The people that beat them, because those are the problem gamblers that are, that are a threat to them, and they limit them. If their bookmakers were any good, if they could set any kind of good numbers, they wouldn't have to limit every single person with the pulse like they do. They don't even try. And it's funny, like the earnings report, they talk about, new customer acquisition. No one even brings up the fact that a lot of these operators, they can't even set a line. Like when they're the first ones to set a Virgin line, they're just universally made fun of. Like they're just guessing. They got some $70,000 a year dude just guessing, what the line should be. Texas A&M.
Steve Fezzik, everybody. More with Steve on the other side, including a baseball season win total bet next on A Numbers Game.
The Colonel's cooked up a new $10 bucket of the day just for you. Monday, 24 nuggets for $10. Tuesday, 8-piece fried chicken for $10. Wednesday, 10 wings for $10. Thursday, 8 tenders for $10. Friday, 24 nuggets for, oh, you guessed it, didn't you? $10. The $10 bucket of the day deal. Every weekday, only at KFC. It's finger-licking good.
Prices and participation variable. Supplies last. Not available on third-party ordering platforms. Tax extra.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Really smart. Unfortunately, I didn't check if I took the gas hose out of my car's tank. Ooh, not smart. And I drove off while still attached to pump number 3.
Yeah, checking first is smart.
So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Potential savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hey folks, it's Tim Murray from the College Football Betting Podcast. VSiN has an entire network of podcasts dedicating to sports betting, including the NBA on Hardwood Handicappers with Zachary Cohen.
I wouldn't be rushing to
Adopt
lay
US
6.5
Kids
points.
presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
That are always ahead of the game. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast. Youngstown, Ohio.
Village Tavern's been a beloved local landmark in Hubbard, Ohio for nearly a century, and now it's better than ever. Recently renovated and still serving up the same warm hospitality, the Village Tavern is your go-to spot for great food, cold drinks, and a laid-back atmosphere. Whether you're stopping in for dinner, catching up with friends, or just looking to relax, you'll enjoy a full menu of American favorites, rotating drink specials, and friendly service that makes every visit memorable. Be sure to visit the Village Tavern at 746 North Main Street in Hubbard, right next to Repair That Glass. To learn more, go to villagetavern3.com.
Western Reserve Radio is the Valley's online source for sports talk and local live events. Tune in and be a part of their live weekly shows, as well as all of the hard-hitting action of Youngstown Phantoms hockey, high school football, and the GDFL. Find them at westernreserveradio.com. Tune in and the Live 365 app to be a part of the area's sports conversation. Be sure to visit them on Facebook at Western Reserve Radio and on Twitter at WR_radio.
Are you ready to hit the gridiron and make your mark? The Cleveland Cobras are recruiting players and coaches for the upcoming Premier Amateur Football League season. We're looking for passion, grit, and the relentless drive to win. Whether you're a seasoned vet or hungry rookie, your shot starts now. Join a brotherhood, build a legacy, strike with the Cobras. Follow us on Facebook at Cleveland Cobras Football, or for league information, visit TAFLfootball.com to get started today. Team Pride Cobras. Are you tired of switching apps just to catch your favorite shows and live events? Say hello to the iMedia1 Network app, your one-stop destination for streaming and everything that matters. From national sports to exclusive local content, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast are now all in one place, anytime, anywhere. Download the free iMedia1 Network app on iOS and Android and unlock the future of sports audio in the palm of your hand. The iMedia1 Network, your sports app in the Valley.
It's time to kick back and listen to the Sports Page with your host, Pat Lucia, right here on Western Reserve Radio. You can call the show at 330-707-4202 and tell everyone what's on your mind in the wonderful world of sports. Now, here's your host, Pat Lucia.
Saturday morning Sports Page, Pat Lucia, Dave Clark. 330-707-4202. We'll go to 11 o'clock today. So get in, give us a call. What's on your mind? A lot to get to. Lead story, obviously, the NBA tonight is Game 7. OK City hosting San Antonio Spurs. It's been a very physical series, Dave Clark.
Yes, almost reminiscent of years back. Not that physical, but it's for this time. Yeah, it's pretty physical.
A little history lesson. This is just my mind. I think goes back 50 years. Scares me, but 50 years ago, and I remember it quite vividly. The Golden State Warriors, who were the defending champions, Rick Barry, looked like they were going to go on to the NBA title and defend their title against the Celtics. Nope, didn't happen. They were hosting the Phoenix Suns, Paul Westphal, the late Paul Westphal, Gar Hurd, Alvin Adams. They got upset. They lost Game 7. Everybody thought they would win Game 7. They got beat by Phoenix Suns. Golden State lost. Phoenix Suns went in. Played the Boston Celtics, and unfortunately, they were beat in 6 games. What does it mean? Could history repeat itself today? Could the Spurs go in and pull the same trick that the Phoenix Suns did to Golden State 50 years ago? OK City is the defending champ. They are defending their title. It's 7 games. Can the Spurs be that team to do that, Dave Clark? What do you think?
Well, if we want to reminisce all the way back, take it all.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, it can go that way. Go ahead and take it. Then you come play New York and lose in 6.
That's what I said. Yeah.
I'm okay.
We're all Knicks fans. I'm all for that. Yes.
Yeah, you want to do it? If it wants to go back, I'll go back with that.
That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Now that we're talking about this, that 1976 playoffs, and this is what kind of, I see a little comparison. It's in the Knicks, the Celtics, the Buffalo Braves,
Bob McAdoo
upset Philadelphia 76ers in that. It was what they had then. It wasn't a play-in. It was the, quote, opening round. It was a mini-series.
3 games, right?
3 games.
Back then.
And Buffalo pulled the upset out of the hat. They won Game 3 in Philly, 124-123, I believe. Surprised everybody. They went on to play the Celtics. Now, if you take it, Philadelphia would have been a better opponent for the Celtics than Buffalo. The matchup favored Philly.
Yeah.
Boston probably could have lost to Philly. Maybe not.
Now, who's on that team then? Was that George McGinnis?
George McGinnis.
Okay, because
Dr. J wasn't there yet
because
this is 76.
Right.
The merge happened in April of 76, not then.
Right.
So Dr. J was the net. Dr. J went in. He won the ABA title against David Thompson in Denver.
Right.
And that was the last ABA title in 76. Dr. J won that with the Nets. Dr. J wasn't sold to Philly yet. That happened in the fall of 76, right before the season started.
Right.
They sold Dr. J to the 76ers because the owner got $3 million in cash. And that's what they did back then.
Yeah. By players.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they did.
Well, and then just another offset, give you an example. Bob McAdoo, I read this fantastic book, A to Z, Buffalo Braves. Great book. And they were talking about they traded McAdoo to the Knicks for John Gianelli and $3 million in cash.
What a steal.
Yeah. And after that, the team went really downhill.
Now, who was the other guard with Ernie D. DeGorio?
Randy Smith.
Randy Smith.
Big
shots all the time. That guy made big shots all the time.
Randy Smith was an unbelievable talent as a player in the NBA and an athlete. He went to University of Buffalo or Buffalo State, and he had all these track records, high jump.
Yeah, I remember that.
He's just an unbelievable athlete. And he played some basketball. I mean, but it was more because he was an athlete more than anything else. Mm-hmm. And the best part with Randy Smith, what I always thought, the late, great Randy Smith, is that this is the part that cracked me up he got drafted in the 7th round in 1971. He was the 104th overall pick by the Buffalo Braves. He went to Buffalo State, and they had a thing, well, let's go after a local guy just to, give him a chance.
Yeah.
So they drafted Randy Smith as an afterthought, total afterthought. Like, let's go after this guy. Looks pretty good. Okay. He was a soccer, track, basketball player, but nobody really thought the guy could really play basketball. He was a good, but no one said, yeah. Well, he got into the league, and I remember they were talking in this book. They said Dolph Shays was the coach, I believe, and he said he got in, and the way he was running up and down the court and making all these plays, he goes,
couldn't start to stay with him. He was gone.
I go, yeah, nobody could stay with him.
Yeah, that guy was gone. Yeah, I still remember him just blowing by guys.
Dolph Shays, we have to keep him. We can't get rid of this guy. Mm-hmm. And they made room for him on the roster.
And then he just took over and went.
And he took, oh, yeah.
Because I remember that their forward, what was his name, Jim McMillan?
They got him
somewhere
from the Lakers.
Lakers, right?
They traded and got Jim McMillan from the Lakers. He went to Columbia, Jim McMillan, and was a great basketball player for Columbia. And when I was a kid growing up, we used to get the Columbia games on Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock. And I used to watch college basketball at 11 o'clock.
You still remember that?
I remember it. And I remember Jim McMillan playing. I remember him. And I thought, man, this guy's really great. And I would Saturdays, I would go downstairs, watch the games at 11 o'clock because I wanted to see Jim McMillan play. He was my favorite player. He was 9 or 10. But I'm watching Jim McMillan play, and he was just an unbelievable ball player.
Yep.
And he ultimately he went on, and Buffalo ultimately traded him to the Knicks. Mm-hmm. And then he ended up with the Knicks with McAdoo.
Right. Yep.
And they had Spencer Hayward on that Knick team, but that Knick team could never get together. It was a good, great, talented roster, but they just couldn't. McAdoo and Spencer Hayward were the same player, kind of. And it said in the book that they just never could get it coordinated where they could go in the playoffs.
Right.
But McAdoo with Buffalo was just through the charts.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just, and they got beat by Boston. And then in that playoff in 76, the Cleveland Cavaliers upset Washington, who the year before was in the finals against Golden State.
With Unseld in it.
With Unseld, they beat Boston in the playoffs in 75. They made it to the finals and lost to Golden State.
Yeah.
Well, what happened is ultimately, and that's where this is so weird, is Boston, instead of having to play Washington, who beat them the year before, got to play Cleveland, who they pretty much had their way with in the regular season. So Boston, in a way, got a break, two breaks in the playoffs because they got to play Buffalo, who they matched up better with. Then they got to play Cleveland instead of Washington, who they matched up much better with. And then finally, they got to play Phoenix and not Golden State because Golden State beat them in the regular season, and Golden State kind of had Boston's number. But that was a year that everything fell Boston's way as far as matchups go. And sometimes that happens. And I'm thinking about the New York Knicks now. Let's bring it 50 years today, right? The New York Knicks, they didn't get Toronto. They got Atlanta. I don't know. That might have been an even wash. But what happened? They got a break because they didn't have to play Boston. They played Philadelphia.
Right.
And Embiid was spent from the series with Boston. So when he played the Knicks, he was done. You could tell he just was spent.
Yeah, because there's no way you're going to be complete basketball shape after being out and then having that surgery too.
And then play 7 games with Boston. Well, he didn't play 7. He sat out a few games, but you could see Embiid just didn't have it as from sitting out with the appendicitis. So the Knicks had a break there because they got to play Philly and not Boston. And then instead of playing Detroit, who beat them in the regular season 3 times, the Knicks got Cleveland upset Detroit, and that was a better matchup for the Knicks is playing Cleveland.
Yeah.
So now my question is, does history repeat itself? Does the Spurs upset OK City, the defending champion, as Phoenix did 50 years ago playing Golden State? Does that happen again? And does the Knicks get the Spurs and not getting OK City? Now, they beat the Spurs 2 out of 3 times this year. I don't know where you bring what you get from that. But I guess, and people think that the Knicks would be better off playing the Spurs than OK City.
Yeah. Yeah, because one thing about OKC, they can go so deep.
Right.
And when they're playing, they go so deep, they got scores all the way down the line. Now, San Antonio is not as deep as them, but they do have young players, but they're erratic as far as scoring. Sometimes they're red hot, sometimes they're not. Those guys from OKC, in most cases, come off the bench ready to go from the get-go. So that's one thing that you look at that it make you think that. Now, the alien going to be doing all kinds of stuff. It's just I think he gets worn out sometimes too. You can see it. He be spent. But that's a guy that's unstoppable. But I do think.
Yeah, he's the X factor.
Right.
Wemby is the total X factor here in this. If Wemby goes out and has a 40 points, they could win.
Yeah, and I think he has to have that.
And I think he has to have the ultimate career game in order to win.
Yeah.
Wemby's got to go out and they have to make it uncomfortable for SGA. Thing with
they have
for a lot, but the only thing is a lot of people are upset because they say, he flops, he gets the calls, and he knows how to do it, and he does.
Yeah.
And a lot of it will depend, all of it, some of it will depend maybe, on how the refs call this.
Oh, yeah.
If the referees let these guys play and let the physical play take over, I think that favors the Spurs. If they have a tighter whistle and they call it the game closer, that's going to favor the Thunder, but the Thunder want to get SGA on the line.
Yeah,
that's going to be the key because that's how he's been winning all these games. And he's great, free throw shooter. He's pretty much shooting almost 100%. I mean,
yeah. Sometimes I don't, sometimes like they were showing something. I think it was Jay Williams. He was doing it yesterday, and to a degree, I do agree with him. When he falls, it's unnecessary, and it puts them in a bad because they don't get the call. Now the team is off to the races the other way, and you're one down. You got one guy down, so you're at a disadvantage on the defensive end because of that. So he said it's almost comparable to that as it is with Luka hollering and screaming at the refs while the other team is down the court scoring. And that's and it is. So when I looked at it, I said, yeah, he does do a lot of that. I hate that because I like the guy. I really like him. He's he's not a guy that causes a lot of issues. He just plays basketball. SGA just plays the game. But he's getting a lot of riff right now. They're just eating him up alive all over. But he seems like a guy that just doesn't let anything bother him. So he just be himself. And that's the way he plays. But I do hate that at times. Because if it's like you said, if the refs are letting them play a little bit, let these guys decide it, that does favor San Antonio. Because I think they're a little bit more physical on that. Now, will they try to be the same way with the Knicks? I don't know if they'll try to be as physical. That's why I thought they come playing Detroit or any of those type of teams, and you want to be physical, they'll match that right with you. Now, Cleveland they're too passive.
Yeah, Cleveland doesn't.
They just don't have that.
They don't have that.
Now, you have guys that seen them play really tough, Mobley and them, but they don't do it consistently.
No.
Because it's not a part of their repertoire that they do it all the time. So, that's the thing I see with Cleveland. It's not physical. And it seems like the Knicks, they won't care about it. I mean, you got thin guys like Bridges, who he doesn't back down from anybody.
No.
And I noticed something. He plays some very good defense. He is a problem on the defense end. Those long arms, and he gets down low, and he gets right on the guy. They have problems even dribbling. And so I'm interested. I just hope they can continue to play what we've seen, because this has been something. I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen a team. I mean, that's not comparing them to Chicago or Golden State, but when you see a team all on the same page, I haven't seen that in a long time. I mean, I guess you can say SGA and them was like that also last year. I mean, just completely on the same. When a team is like that, it's hard to beat them. They don't even be scoring. Sometimes they don't even score big. They be 18, 17, 6, all across the board.
The last game that they swept Cleveland, nobody had 20 points.
No. And they scored 130.
And they scored 130, and it was just everybody like...
I mean, Deuce
was double digits. Landry, Shamet. Was unbelievable from three.
This guy, he's never going to miss. This guy was hitting from anywhere.
He just has not missed. But the bench has been.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about it before, but the bench has been to some large degree.
Yeah.
The bench has been the difference this year for the Knicks.
Sure.
A great bench. Clarkson coming off the bench, great player. I think he's really a good player coming off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
McBride is another shooting the three, and I mean, another shot in the arm. And Shamet has just been. And I don't know. It's much like Tom Thibodeau, but I was critical of him last year because I thought they played those starters way too many minutes.
Burnt them out.
And they wore them out in the playoffs, and they got worn out against Indiana last year.
And Indiana was bringing a lot off the bench, remember?
Yep, Indiana had an unbelievable bench last year. Now, they took SGA and OK City to 7 games last year, surprised a lot of people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the way the Knicks were playing, if they can continue to play like this, I don't know. I mean, I think they could win the NBA title. I think, though, they're going to give whoever, either the Spurs or OK, a heck of a series.
Yeah.
And they're going to be very competitive because if they're playing this good in the finals. It'll be a great finals to watch, but I think,
Yep.
before the Knicks hits this crazy stride, everybody thought, well, it won't matter who wins the East because they have no chance. People aren't really saying that anymore because of the way the Knicks are playing. They're saying, no, these guys actually have a shot at winning the title if they play like this.
Yeah, if they can continue to play like that, and watching the defensive end, and then the offensive rebounding and everything, and that hopefully Mitchell Robinson could keep playing, even though he broke that pinky. He had
did the surgery, but he said he's playing.
He said he's playing with it, so they probably taped those.
Yep.
Those fingers together. Then and he'll go out there and try to perform. And like they said, the main thing he has to watch out for, because guys are going to do it. When he's rebounding, they're going to be swiping down on the hand. They're going to be doing all kind of stuff because they know that's a situation there that he has.
Yep.
But it's not like he's your big-time scorer is on his shooting hand. So if he can stay from really hurting that anymore and be able to play, he should be able to rebound the ball,
and
put
they
backs
do the
and all that.
alley-oops to him.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as he could rebound, play defense, and do the alley-oops,
it won't hurt
it
as
won't
much.
deter his play that much, hopefully not any.
Yeah.
And then he can basically pretty much still be what he's doing.
Yeah. And then for him to come out, too, to talk about having, the mental health situation.
Yeah.
Going through a lot, to be able to come, but that's good to be able to come out.
Yeah,
because that's the worst thing is holding it in.
Oh no, that makes it 20 times worse.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, so
Kevin Love came out.
Yeah, and did that
and did it and indicated his situation.
And if you ever seen Football Life with Brian Dawkins, he was close to committing suicide. And one time he got in such a dark place.
Oh, yeah.
He said this was so much pressure, so much things on him at once. Things that he got married young, him and his high school sweetheart. And then he said it was just so many things going on at once. And the pressure of playing pro football. And then all of a sudden, before he knew it, he was thrust in as the starting safety.
Yeah.
And he wasn't a starter when he first came in. And like 3 games into the season, the guy said, "Oh, you got to get that guy on the field." And then he's there, and then it's just so much going around him. Yeah. He said until he was able to release that and tell someone and then get out there and get some help, then he was able to come back. That was a very good football. I watched that. I said, man, what he turned out to be. What a safety. I always liked Brian Dawkins. But I tell you, that's something. You got to let that out. Mitchell Robinson, I hope everything goes well, and I definitely would love to see the Knicks had this opportunity and definitely win it. I would love to see that.
Well,
I think I'm going with this game, though. I mean, I know it is at OKC, but if San Antonio can come out quick, don't sputter, they might beat them. They might take them out.
I have, for some bizarre reason, and I don't know why, I have a feeling the Spurs are going to win this game today. I just don't know why.
It might be because what you said,
Maybe
how reminiscent.
I'm looking
the
at
whole
history.
Because look at all of it. Everything is like that.
It's almost, when I looked at those 76 playoffs and I'm looking at these playoffs, and I'm just seeing some similarities with the way these teams progressed.
Yep.
The way the Knicks were almost kind of like the Celtics were. They got the playoffs to fall, the opponents to fall into their favor, like they did not get Detroit, who beat them 3 times. Maybe people, well, that doesn't even have anything to do with it. Yeah, maybe, but
that's right.
They got Cleveland. They didn't get Boston. They got a broken down Philadelphia team that just did not have the ability to play the Knicks on any level, and the Knicks just did away with them easy. And that's, the Knicks have won. They lost they lost 2 games. They were 1-2 against Atlanta. They won 3 in a row. Then they won 4 in a row. They've won 11 in a row.
11 in a row. Yep.
So when you break it down, the Knicks are just on this real roll. Now they've been off, and now are they going to come back? They did slow start against Cleveland in game 1, but they pulled that game out. And a lot of Cleveland fans believe when the Knicks did that, that was over. That series was over then. When Cleveland,
I don't think they ever recovered.
No, and
Cleveland.
I got a good friend of mine that believes, he says Cleveland never recovered from that loss. They had that
20,
game.
Weren't they?
Yeah, they were down 22 with 7:22 left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, the
and they were
game.
down 22 points. No team, that was the greatest comeback in playoff history for a team to do that. And
I don't know how you were watching it. But
I was watching.
My mouth was open. I was
oh
like,
yeah, I
what
couldn't
the
believe
heck?
it.
I mean, I couldn't believe how it swung like that and just kept on going. I said, wait a minute, they got to call. They got to do something and regroup.
Well, that's
no.
And
they called that. It didn't
no.
change. Nothing changed.
He never called the coach.
Yeah,
Atkinson never called timeout, and the Knicks just, and everybody was, all the fans are Cleveland. They're all screaming and yelling. You had 2 timeouts, and then he goes, he said, they asked him about it after the game. He goes, well, I like to keep those in my pocket. And we're like going, dude.
Team in your pocket, what are you going to do with them?
What do you do with them?
You got to use some things sometime. And that run, you had to, even though you might have not wanted to use one right away again.
Right.
I would have. It was like an avalanche.
Yeah.
Coming full steam downhill. It's not stopping. I got to get a break.
What's what I mean?
I mean, he didn't even do it. He just kept on, just letting
it was
it
like
come.
a downhill racer, and the Knicks are the downhill racer. You got to knock them off. You got to take them out of their zone.
Yeah, because they was in a.
The Knicks were in a.
I mean, they passed anybody. I
Yeah.
don't care who it was. What was it? Bridges. He was stuck where he couldn't even pass the ball. And
Yeah.
just makes a shot.
Oh, I know.
Just makes a shot. Just throw up anything.
Everything. Yeah.
It was just too much. It was too much going on. I mean, just. Whew.
I thought the Knicks. I said they're going to lose this game. They can't win this game.
Yeah, and I thought that if they lost
And
that
I thought,
first one,
I thought if they
changed
dumped
everything.
the first one, I personally thought it would go 6 or 7 games then.
Yeah.
And I thought the Knicks would still win the series.
But a tougher road.
But it's going to be a tougher road, and it's going to be really harder for them, because then it's all of a sudden Cleveland's got the game. Knicks have to then, play and then, probably lose a game in Cleveland and stretch it out to 7 games. I thought, if they lose game 1, it'd probably go to 7 games. Knicks would win game 7 in the Garden, you hope.
Right.
But you don't know that. But the point is, I thought it would just be a tougher series altogether. But then when they came out and beat Cleveland in that game 1, like the way they did it, Cleveland was done.
Yeah.
They had the chance, they blew it, and then the Knicks knew it. Then it was just like the blood in the water and the Sharks there, and that was it.
I could not believe that game. I was over. I said, these guys came all the way back from that. And it wasn't a lot of time, 7 minutes.
22 points, 7:22 left in the game, and they came back and won it. Got it in overtime, and you knew once it was overtime, it was over. It was over. Saturday Morning Sports Page, first quarter in the book. Back after this. Western Reserve.
Here's a fun fact for you. The average chameleon can point their eyes in 2 different directions. On the other hand, the average human can't. So unless you're a chameleon, there's absolutely no way you can focus on texting and driving at the same time. So don't do it, unless you're a chameleon.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
If I could be you.
And you could be me? For just 1 hour.
If you could find a way.
To get inside each other's mind.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out.
And for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
What do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical Ohio high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too. This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Yeah, we got it. We're back. Saturday morning sports page back. We're trying to figure stuff out here.
Trying to figure out how they came back with 722.
Yeah, I think we're still right. I think we're Knicks fans. We're still trying to figure out how the heck
I don't know.
the Knicks didn't lose that game. I thought they were done. I was like, the Knicks are finished. They're not gonna. They'll dump game one. They were rusty. Blah blah. And then they come out of nowhere. And then you knew once the Knicks kicked that in overtime, game was over. And they did it. The Knicks basically did in the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cavaliers will keep their coach.
Yeah, that's what. And I was wondering at first. I said, but no, they decided to keep him.
And I don't think LeBron James is coming to Cleveland.
I don't think he will. Well, not with that salary cap.
He can't.
I can't. I mean, they had to do some crazy stuff. When you look at it, you will say they can't. But this, I don't understand how some teams do stuff anyway, and they figure a way. But I don't know. They would have to do some remarkable stuff. Some guys would have to be traded out of there and stuff like that.
They can't. See, the problem that people don't understand is if LeBron was under contract, then they could trade him. Then they can play with the salary. In other words, but when he's a flat-out free agent, in a way that hurts him. Because if LeBron was still under contract with the Lakers and wanted to trade, they can play the numbers. They could swap contracts. They could go to Cleveland and say, okay, match up salaries. We want Mobley and one of the other guys to match up LeBron's salary. And then that way the Cavs could acquire LeBron in a trade, like Giannis. All this buzz about Giannis. Well, Giannis is not a free agent. People think, no, he's not a free agent.
No, they're going to trade.
He still has He still has a solid 1 year left on the deal. Then he has a player option left. So Giannis has 2 years left on his deal. So you could trade for Giannis, but you have to match up salaries. The word is Mobley to Giannis because they get close to matching up salaries, and then they can play around because you have flexibility. But when a guy like LeBron, he's a free agent. There's no matching up salary. And they can't get rid of guys because the guys are under contract.
Right.
Because the NBA is basically, guaranteed money. And I was looking at the way the Cavaliers' salary is. They have and people don't realize this, but the Cavaliers have the highest payroll in the NBA.
Right. Yep.
They're number one. And they don't have. The only thing they've got, if you're a Cav fan, you're thinking, okay, what are the Cavs going to do? Well, the Cavaliers' salary next year will be $218 million. And I think that puts them in, I know they're in the luxury tax, but they're in a higher level. So Dan Gilbert's going to pay a lot of money in luxury tax. But the way they have it, Harden has a player option for next year at $42 million. So he can opt in and opt out next year. Now, he can opt out of the contract, and I think he's looking to sign an extension. Rumor was that he would take $28 million for 2 years, $28 million. So he would sign a 2-year deal, say with the Cavs, opt out and say, I'm going to cut you guys a break. I'll take 20. Now I won't take $42 million. Give me $28 million this year and next. 2 years of $28 million per year, $56 million. And then that way, that could cut the Cavaliers' salary back by $14 million.
Mm-hmm.
But if he opts out, then the Cavaliers may sign him or they may not. I don't know what long-term the Cavalier fans will do, but he is 36.
Right.
So we're going to kind of wait and see. But like Donovan Mitchell is the one people are wondering because he enters in to the last year of his contract because after he gets $50 million next year. After that, he has a player option for $53 million. Normally, when players enter into the last year of the contract, they get the extension. And that's what the Cavaliers are working on. But again, that would be at like 4 years, almost $300 million. Mm-hmm. That would be a big extension. So the Cavaliers have to decide, are they going to keep Donovan Mitchell and sign him to an extension or trade him?
Right.
This would be the time, if you're the Cavaliers, you have to kind of the old Fisher cut bait story is, do you keep Donovan Mitchell long term or trade him? Because now would be the time to trade him.
Yeah.
And then whoever trades for him would then trade and sign the extension. Because that's what he's looking for. Donovan Mitchell is looking for the extension now.
Yeah, because he might be an option. I don't know who they would get. They got to get somebody in there.
According to what there would be is potentially they would sign Donovan Mitchell to a 5-year, $350 million extension.
Cleveland?
Yeah.
Oh, and then he'll just stay there then.
Then he would stay there. But this is what they have to decide, really going into this year. They have to decide, are they going to sign him to an extension or are they going to trade him? Because now he's very tradable because you've still got the year left. But the team trading for him would then have to decide they're going to want, if they're going to trade for him, they would want him to sign, they would have to give him the extension. He's looking for that extension. Yes. Like the Joker is looking for, I think his extension was going to be 4 years, $280 million. Charles Barkley rolled his eyes, couldn't believe it was that much money. Right. But that's what the extension would be. Mm-hmm. But where does this come as far as LeBron coming to Cleveland? LeBron really, I don't see him going to the Knicks because the Knicks can't pay him either.
Right. Because
they are in the same boat with the Cavaliers. And Golden State is. Mm-hmm. He's gonna hook up with LeBron's gonna get with Stephon Curry. I don't think he's going to because he's got to take that veteran extent. I believe it was like $5.9 million. And I don't think LeBron wants to play for $5.9 million. I think he's going to be looking for more money.
Right.
And I think the only team that can really sign LeBron is the Lakers.
Yeah.
Or maybe the Clippers, because the Clippers would have room under the cap. The Lakers do. Mm-hmm. But then the Lakers have to decide they've got to deal with Austin Reeves. Because Austin Reeves' contract, he's got, the way Austin Reeves' contract is right now, he's got an opt-in next year for $14 million, or he can opt out and be a free agent. And we were kind of talking about it last week a little bit, but Maxi Kelber, Luke Kennard are all free agents, as is, I think, the big player on their team is Rui Hachimura. He's a free agent. Mm-hmm. He can go anywhere he wants.
Yeah, they should keep him, though.
But they need to keep him.
Yeah. He was good in college. And then when he went to Washington, I think that's who drafted him, played well there, too. So I thought the Lakers was, in a good position getting that guy, and he's always come through
always
off
does.
the
He
bench
can
or
hit
start.
big threes.
Doesn't matter. Yep, he hits them, and he plays sound defense and stuff like that. Hustles. Don't let him get out of your grasp. I think they gotta grab him, keep him. But these decisions they're gonna have to make, and it comes so quickly too because the season just about over, and they got to get right back to it because they're back in camp by September.
Oh yeah, no,
it comes quick.
This is quick.
It's something you gotta
NBA,
work. It's no joke.
the
man.
NBA does not have much of an off season of all the sports.
It is. It's
I
quick.
think they have the tightest time as far as
And I guess we're looking at the playoff team because the other teams have been off since what? March?
April,
right?
April.
They've been off since April, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The mid-April is when the season is usually over.
Right,
That
mid-April.
first couple. Yep. So, I mean, you got May, June, July, August, September. Yeah, so for most teams, they still are getting 5-6 months. But it just doesn't seem like it because here we are talking about the finals. And if the finals win 7 games, we'd be in like the third week almost of June, somewhere in there. And then 2 months later, they're in camp. 2.5 months later, September, they start their camp somewhere in there. And then the season starts in October.
Starts October. Right. They got their preseason is September.
Yeah. So for all the playoff teams, and especially teams to make it to the final, it's a short
Very
time.
short.
Very short.
Well, we're going to be June 3rd is the NBA finals start Wednesday. So they're going to be done mid-June.
Mm-hmm.
And you take mid-June, in 2 months, they're probably looking at training camp.
Yeah.
Well, they go June to the 3 months, they're in training camp.
Right.
So they would be off 3 months like the Knicks and the Spurs or the OK City Thunder, whoever gets to the final. Those two teams will be off 3 months and they're back in training and everything. So that's kind of the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
They've just expanded the playoffs out so much where back in 1970 when Willis Reed walked or limped out onto the court against Wilt and the Lakers, that was May 8th. That final game was May 8th, 1970.
Yeah.
They were done in May.
Look at it now.
Now it's mid-June.
And just think we used to look at Super Bowls at the beginning of January.
They were early. They were always like 1 or 2 weeks into January. Now, they haven't even put the date on not next year's, but the year after Super Bowl. They don't have a date because they're looking at 18 games.
Right, and they want to move it to where
President's Day. So the Monday's the federal holiday, and everybody has off.
And that's the week. That's like the third week.
That's the third week in February. So the Super Bowl will get to the third week in January, and that's what they want to do, and they want to go to 18 games. But you also have 2 bye weeks that they're going to have to filter in and have to put more players on the roster because of the injuries, and they just have a lot of injuries in the NFL. I don't remember growing up watching the game and seeing this many injuries as a kid. I just remember the players.
Yeah, and it might
we
be
watched
because,
it though, 60s and the 70s.
Yeah.
And 80s.
And I think we don't really didn't pay attention.
But maybe we weren't paying that close attention. I just don't remember though the injuries being this much.
I mean, when teams were decimated.
But
like
the guys
Detroit that
aren't
1 year.
as big, are they? But the players aren't as big as they were. Like that's the thing with the players.
You mean the players are bigger now?
Yeah, bigger and stronger. And I mean, it's just different in that look at the size of the players. Like I have this book at home. It's the Big Ten, Ohio State versus Michigan every year.
Mm-hmm.
And in this book, they give you the roster, height, and weight of all the players each year.
Right.
And you start looking back in the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s. I mean, there weren't any players that were.
No, your offensive linemen were 240
they were 240,
pounds.
230.
Yeah.
And it was kind of big.
You get a 260, that's a massive.
That was big.
Yeah.
And I remember Chris Ward when he played for Ohio State because I actually met him.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember meeting him, and he was listed at 280. Oh, my God. He was a man-child. He was giant. He was big, strong. Nice guy.
Yeah.
Is just a super good guy. And I just remember I met him, and I went talk to him. Hey, Chris, how's it going? Talk to him. Good guy. And I just remember I couldn't get over the size of him. But he was mammoth on the field. Back then, we could go down on the field and watch him warm up before the game.
Right.
Like it was just, we could just go right down. You walk around the field as they're warming up. And you would see him on the field. And he looked like he and Pete Johnson cracked me up because Pete Johnson just looked like a shorter version of Chris Ward.
Yeah, he was a big guy.
Because Pete Johnson was 245. Mm-hmm. He listed at 238. Nobody believed it.
Right.
And he had to be 260.
Yeah.
And he was basically a little bit a shorter version of Ward, because Ward was as big, but he was I think Chris Ward was 6'5", Johnson was 6 foot.
Yep.
And they were just size-wise, they were wide.
Yeah. That's why there used to be some big backs in college football back then. Pete Johnson. Now, this one might have been a little bit after Pete, but he's a big guy. George Woodard.
Oh, yeah, George Woodard, Texas
A&M.
Texas A&M.
He's playing in the backfield. He was easily 270.
Oh, yeah.
And people don't realize how big, that this guy played in the backfield. He played for the Browns, played for Detroit. I don't know how many teams he played for, but he was all pro. Nose tackle, Jerry Ball.
Jerry Ball?
He played in the backfield. I forgot what college. In the, what, was it Baylor or was it A&M also? Somewhere in the SWAC, Jerry Ball, not in the SWAC, but in the, back then it was the Southwestern Conference, which was Texas, Arkansas, and all of them. But he played for, I can't remember who he played for, but he was in the backfield.
Southern Methodist.
That's SMU. He played at the time that Dickerson and Craig James was there. And people don't realize he was playing in the backfield at that time, too. He became an all-pro.
330.
330.
6 foot.
That's insane.
Jerry Ball.
A great athlete.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
that's just insane.
He was a man-child. He played for Detroit, Cleveland, and L.A. and the L.A./Oakland Raiders back in the day.
Yep.
Jerry Ball.
That was just a guy. You just put him in the middle and just let him eat up blockers.
He's 61 years old. Yeah, he played. Actually, he had 2 stints with the Browns and Minnesota. And he started with Detroit, Cleveland a year, then the Raiders for 3 years, Minnesota for 2 years, then Cleveland a year, Minnesota, and he split it then he retired in 1999 at the age of 35. But he was a man. Yeah, he was. I remember him. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know a guy I played against.
He was big.
That I ran against him in track and then played against him in college. One of the biggest backs I ever seen to collide with, Larry Kennebrew.
Oh yeah, Larry Kennebrew. He Cincinnati Bengals.
Yep, he played for Tennessee State. Oh man, that was like hitting a cement block. That was something else. That's the game when I told you I was asking my guys to place me. That's when I told you I know that's a concussion back then. We didn't think I'd just get the smelling salt. But in the series where they was driving down the field, made a hit. Me and Andre Waters on him on the sidelines. And I know I just went flying. He went flying. I got a good one on him, too. I know I got him good. My goodness. I didn't know what the heck went on. I thought I was hit by a bus. That stuff, I was floating around there. That's one big guy. The thing about Larry Kennebrew, he was about 265. Yeah. He was a tailback.
He was.
And in college, when we ran track, he ran the 100 meters, the 4x1 100, the 4x1 relay. Now, can you imagine a guy that size running the sprints? But that's what he did in college. That just doesn't make any sense. That was unfair. And then he goes to the Bengals. They'd already had Pete Johnson. Now,
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, both of them guys. How could you have both? That's not fair.
He did.
Now, I know that the tail end of Pete Johnson.
83.
Yeah.
87. I remember him, too.
That was the tail end of Pete's
Yeah,
career, but
'cause
they
Pete-
both was
right.
in there at the time for a
Yep.
little bit. That's insane.
Well, he was. The Bengals were funny. They went out. They liked that back. They liked that kind of guy.
Yeah.
That was just big, where they hand the ball off to him, and he would just run people over.
It seemed like they stayed with that mold
And
for a while.
he
didn't
was
they?
taking over. Kinnebrew was taking over for Johnson, kind of. It was like, okay, because back then, that was 19.
Who was the Trumpy that coached in? maybe?
Yeah. They were with the Bengals in 83 together. Then in 84, Johnson went to the Chargers. But he played. Pete Johnson was with the Bengals from 77 to 1983. Kinnebrew broke in 83 his rookie year.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they were they were two mammoth backs. Like you said, Kinnebrew's listed at 6'1" and 255, which we know was probably 10, at least, 10. Johnson was listed at 6 foot 252.
Yeah, okay.
You could take these numbers for what they're worth, department, especially the weight.
Yeah.
Johnson was just, again.
He was every bit of 275.
Oh, even at Ohio State.
Yeah, that was
I
big.
saw him one time
Enormous.
coming into the hall. He was like moving something, and I saw him. I think he was working for the university at the time. Some of these guys, they worked back then. They could work and make money,
right?
And he was help moving something, and I saw him come into the hall as he was walking. He was pushing something, or and I looked at him, and I looked at that guy and just shook my head and go, my God. He was one wide man, and he wasn't like fat. He was wide.
Yeah.
He was just like, you looked at him and go, my God. He was as tall as I was, because I was 6 foot. This guy's 6 foot. He's like 3 of me, and he was just wide and big, muscles, shoulders, everything.
Yeah.
I thought, could you imagine this guy gets a head full of steam and bring him down?
Yeah.
And Larry Kinnebrew's helmet, I always thought was going to explode off his head. It looked like it was too small.
I know.
He had such a big head. That helmet looked like when he was with the Bengals.
He had to press that thing in there.
I think he broke it. I think it broke a couple times.
It might have. That guy was.
He was just huge. But these guys.
That was a big guy in college.
Right. Well, we talk on this show about, stealing plays, blah, blah, blah. Oh, these guys know what's. But I always laugh at that, because I remember back when I would go to Ohio State game in the mid-'70s with Archie and Pete and Matt Bashnagel. They would line up in the T formation inside the 10-yard line. Mm-hmm. And everybody in the arena or stadium knew who the hell was getting that ball. Johnson. Yeah. The defense knew it. The fans knew it. Woody knew it. And Woody didn't care that they knew it, because Woody's like, stop it. And they could not.
Yeah.
Because he would run behind Chris Ward, and Ward would just blow somebody away. And then Johnson would just, whoever hit him next was maybe the linebacker, or the defensive back who had no chance.
Right. Yeah.
And you got this guy, 250, 265, coming at you full steam after the three. I thought Ward had to be 300 pounds. He looked like he'd blow you away. Then you got whacked by him, and then you got the other guy coming right behind him.
No.
Good luck.
That's why I respect a guy, one of my favorite players, Ronnie Lott, because when you think about Ronnie Lott hitting Pete Johnson in the Super Bowl, you're going to take that guy down? I mean, but I done seen Lott do that with quite a few different people. And Jack Tatum was another guy.
The Jack Tatum.
When he met Earl Campbell at the goal line, I still remember that. My goodness, what a collision. And Earl Campbell was much bigger than Tatum. But Tatum came with some force, because, wow, that guy was something else.
Oh, yeah,
unbelievable football back then. I love reminiscing back of those days.
Jack Tatum was a running back coming out of New Jersey.
Yep.
Woody went to the house to see Jack, and I think his parents, his mother, aunt, were there. And Tatum goes, Woody shows up, says hi to me. And he's just talking to my mother and my aunt. He goes, and he kept talking to them about Jack getting a degree, education. Never talked football. And then, Woody talked to Jack and said, you come to Ohio State, you're going to get a degree. Yeah, you're going to play football, but you're going to get a degree. Yeah, dot, right? Got in the car. So Jack goes, I got other offers. And the aunt and the mother said, you're going there. You're going to go play for him.
Yeah.
Because he's going to get you, you're getting an education. Like they were just, you're a great football player. And he was a running back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he gets to Ohio State. And he gets the ball in scrimmage and he takes off 60, and he's running like 65 yards. So he's coming up and he runs out of bounds. And Woody goes nuts because Woody goes, you're not supposed to be running out of bounds. You're supposed to be running. You lower your head and hit the guy. And Tatum was, no, I ran out of bounds. So Woody goes, no. So Woody got that's when Tatum, I think Holtz was there, decided to recruit Tatum to play defense.
Mm-hmm.
So then ultimately, because they had the running back, and Brockington was there.
Yeah, John Brockington.
So, Tatum goes, I'll play defense then. Because then, he thought Woody was a little too out there yelling at him for running out of bounds after 60 yards. But he goes, all right, I'll play defense. And he could have been a fantastic running back.
Yeah.
But he actually ended up, he probably has made a good move career because he ended up being one of the best defensive backs ever to play.
Yeah.
Sadly, he'll never get in a Hall of Fame.
Right.
Because of the hit on Darryl Stingley will keep him out of the Hall of Fame. And sadly, Jack had severe diabetes and passed.
Mm-hmm.
But sadly, he'll never get in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
But he should.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'll never forget. I know for a fact, following the guy, he was blackballed out the league. Because this last year at Houston, he's playing for the Oilers. And that guy had like a great season. And the next thing you know,
Who's that?
Tatum.
Oh, yeah.
He got blackballed out the league.
Yeah.
There's no question in my mind that happened.
Oh, yeah.
Because you don't have a season like he did his last season, and nobody signs you. They was making sure that guy would not be in the
he was
league
done.
anymore.
When Jack Tatum, sadly, made the hit on Darryl Stingley, which is, if you see the tape, is not a dirty hit.
No, it's not.
Not.
You came. Back in those days,
that was a clean hit.
And it's the sign. You come across the middle, you come at your own discretion in doing so.
Right. Back then, that's the way it was.
Yeah, you pay a price, you come across the middle.
That was 1978. That's the way it was back then.
And he just came up into a clean hit. It wasn't like something, crazy. Clean
hit. Atkinson for the Raiders, same thing, would hit those guys coming off. Or they knew if you went over the middle.
And you could clothesline
back then.
They used to get upset about
hey, that was the way the game was played.
That's the way it was. Yep.
And quarterbacks got hit hard and sacked hard.
Ask Terry Bradshaw. Joe Turkey Jones. I love that.
Back after this Saturday Morning Sports Day.
Youngstown, Warren, and Salem Sports Talk is on the iMedia1 network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast.
Village Tavern's been a beloved local landmark in Hubbard, Ohio for nearly a century, and now it's better than ever. Recently renovated and still serving up the same warm hospitality, the Village Tavern is your go-to spot for great food, cold drinks, and a laid-back atmosphere. Whether you're stopping in for dinner, catching up with friends, or just looking to relax, you'll enjoy a full menu of American favorites, rotating drink specials, and friendly service that makes every visit memorable. Be sure to visit the Village Tavern at 746 North Main Street in Hubbard, right next to Repair That Glass. To learn more, go to villagetavern3.com.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Looking for future leaders we can believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Ohio. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Honorary Forest Ranger Betty White here, lending a hand to my dear friend Smokey Bear. Because for years, he's only said,
only you can prevent wildfires.
But there's a lot more to say. Like if you park your car on tall, dry grass, the hot exhaust pipe can start a wildfire. So keep the animals safe, especially the cute shirtless one. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Saturday morning sports page back. Pat Lucia, Dave Clark. Had to step out a bit. 330-707-4202. Get in, talk sports. We do it every Saturday morning here. Here is Western Reserve Radio. Talking, obviously, NFL, little NFL, gone back a little bit in time. Talking about Jack Tatum, Pete Johnson, Larry Kinnick, Bruce, some great players back then. Also, NBA basketball, big game tonight. Spurs taking on OK City Thunder. Game 7, this is it. This is for all the marbles. Winner takes on the Knicks. Now, that will be Wednesday. That game will be played in either OK City or San Antonio. The winner will host Game 1 of the best of 7. NBA title is finally here. Long season in the NBA. They already have preseason starts September. So these teams now that are playing in the playoffs, especially the finalists, get about maybe 3 months off at best. They're back at it. So tonight's big game is probably obviously the big game. I referred back to 1976, went back in a little time capsule when Golden State lost their Game 7 to Phoenix Suns, a big upset back then. Golden State was the repeat champion, defending champion as OK City was. So bottom line was that was a big game played in Golden State. Rick Barry, and they lost. Everybody thought Golden State would win. And if Golden State would have beat Phoenix, they would have been favored against the Boston Celtics. Did not happen. Boston ended up winning that series in 6 games over the Phoenix Suns. So that was a little history lesson, which we like to do on this show on somewhat of a regular basis, Dave Clark.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how at least the basketball is going to be mapping out. We got talking about football and talked about NBA salaries. What's LeBron James going to do? What are the Lakers going to do? The Lakers have some questions here. Now they're talking that Austin Reeves opts out. He's a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
Then he's going to want a lot of money. And they said that the Lakers are going to be in a bad situation because they really can't afford, if Austin Reeves opts out, signs the contract, they can't afford he and LeBron.
Right.
So the Lakers going to have to make a decision. And if you look at the Lakers, outside of Luka coming back and Vanderbilt coming back and Dalton Knecht coming back, Bronny will be back. Bronny James' contract, he's due $2.2 million next year. So you've got those players are definitely coming back. Now people are wondering what happens to Bronny if LeBron goes somewhere else.
Yeah. Will it be a part of the deal or what? I don't know. And it can't be a deal like a trade deal because he's free. So,
LeBron's free.
Right. He's
Bronny's
free.
not. They would have to work out some compensation for him.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you can. If he signs with a team, then you could try to get it where they get him traded to that same team. But I don't know. It's going to be a complicated situation these next couple months. And it's not going to be, I don't think it's going to be, well, you say if I say 2 months, yeah, I guess sometime by July. They got to get it.
Well, they got to get it done.
They got to get this stuff
They got
done.
to figure out, first of all, really going to come down to where does LeBron James go? Where's he going? Who can afford him? Again, he's a free agent. If he was under contract like Giannis, you have flexibility. Teams can trade for LeBron because you can match up salaries. But when he's a free agent, he's limited to where he can go. Teams can give him, I believe that exception is $5.9 million, and so that's it. And that's what he would get.
Yeah.
But that's those teams. There's teams, but the Knicks, Golden State, and the Cleveland Cavaliers cannot sign LeBron.
It don't look like this.
They can't assign him to a long-term deal. They have no room under their salary cap to do so. So the best that those teams can do is say, okay, here's that veteran exception, I believe, as they refer to it as. So LeBron would have to play for that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. And if they're trying to get him up to a certain amount of money, you got to give him that and then a bunch of incentives. I mean, it'll be tough, but you can give them a bunch of incentives that can add quite a bit to it. But I don't know. It's just every time I've said stuff like that, like there's no way.
I know.
And I don't understand how they do it.
We've said that time and time again. How does this? But they make it happen.
And I'd be like, I don't know. Even like the time when Kevin Durant went to the Golden State. At first, that looked like that would not happen. But what's the guy named Myers? Dave Myers. Who was it? No, I forgot. The GM. He was on. He used to do the pregame shows. He used to be the former general manager of Golden State. But I remember they had the situation where Draymond Green never made a lot, but they did enough to swing it to get Kevin Durant in there and still keep Thompson and Curry and Draymond, and he was a free agent.
Free agent in 2016.
But they figured out. They have done it so many different times. Not even that. That's going further back. They done did it several different times, and I don't understand how these teams do it, but they find a way. When they want something, it seems like they get it some kind of way.
He signed a 2-year deal back then. Kevin Durant did 2 years at $54 million. They had to have some money under the cap to do it.
Yeah, they had to have something.
They had to have some.
It just showed at first they didn't think they could, but they worked it out.
They either had somebody or they had somebody that didn't pick up a player option.
They did something
and opened it up, or they had a team option, and they were basically able to not say, okay, we're gonna let this guy be a free agent. And they were able to create room. But what I've been seeing, Stephen A. Smith said this is a couple weeks now. He came out and he rattled off the same thing I just said as far as what LeBron's options are. And Cleveland, New York, and Golden State were not going to be able to sign him to a $50 million a year deal. They just can't do it.
Yeah.
So
I can't see
when you look
at
that. Their contract, Cleveland's the number 1 team, and Knicks are right behind them at number 2 for the highest salary. The Knicks have to deal with signing the backup center.
Mitchell? Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah, Mitchell Robinson's contract is up this year. He's a free agent.
Yeah, they need to bring him back.
So the Knicks are dealing with – the Knicks will have to decide – what are they going to do with him? But the Knicks are the second highest. They are right now at $211 million. They only go down to 202 next year.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody comes back. Towns will be back. Now, Karl Anthony Towns is in that year. Do they extend? The Knicks will have to make a decision. Do they want to extend Karl Anthony Towns or trade him? Because he's in that same deal with Giannis where next year is the final year of his contract. The year after that, he's got player option. So Karl Anthony Towns, if they want to keep him, if they were going to trade him, they have to trade him now or extend him. Anunoby is there. Brunson is there. Mikal Bridges is there. They don't have to worry about those guys. Josh Hart, they actually have Josh Hart for $20 million next year and a team option for the following year, $22 million. So they could keep Josh Hart, and they don't even have to worry about trading him. They could just keep him and then work on an extension next year after the team option. But Mitchell Robinson's the guy. They have to decide what are they going to do
with him, yeah.
And Jordan Clarkson and Landry Shamet are free agents. And they're only paying Shamet $3 million, and they're only paying Jordan Clarkson $3.6 million. Those guys are deals.
Right.
So they got to decide, do they want to maybe give them some kind of an extension, or decide maybe they're going to keep Landry Shamet but not Jordan Clarkson, or vice versa. I know they have to make a decision there.
Right.
But Mitchell Robinson's probably the first one on the list because he is a free agent after this year.
Yep. That's going to be, as I said, we'll see. It's going to be interesting what they're going to do. A lot of these teams.
A lot of these teams are in it. Like I said, I think the most fascinating one is the Lakers because the Lakers have absolutely to give you an idea, they have the sixth highest payroll as of now, $197 million. Next year, it drops to $106 million. So, but they lose everybody.
Right. It'd be almost
the
like a
only
brand new
people
roster.
you're keeping, the only thing you're right. The only two players you have on this roster. Well, let's just assume Austin Reeves opts out. Okay, he's a free agent. Vanderbilt and Luka are the only two. And I guess with Vanderbilt, he's in the last year of his contract because his next is a $13 million opt-out. So he can opt out after next year.
Okay.
So they got Vanderbilt through next year at $12 million. But then after that, Vanderbilt can opt out and become a free agent. So they got to kind of decide, do they want to extend Vanderbilt? Palinka's got his work really cut out for him here.
He should be working now.
He's working over. I mean, he might have a few gray hairs, or maybe he does. I'm just saying he's got to figure it out because it's like you're losing LeBron, or do you re-sign LeBron and give him the $50 million, whatever? But then again, Hachimura, who we really like,
I think they should let. We'll see. I don't know. LeBron, to a certain extent, I'm saying he should stay there. But then again, maybe if you're looking at the future, if you're saying, okay, Luke is the face of the team now,
right?
Then I guess you got to sign Reeves. He's a younger guy. He's going to be there for a while. And then you add pieces to that.
So you would really build your team around Luka and Reeves.
Yeah. And then if he wants to stay in L.A., he just goes right across town. And he plays for the Clippers.
He could play for the Clippers.
And they probably have Kawhi back and whoever else. And they still will be a team that could have a run, depending on what else they add to that team. They can still make a run, too.
Well, and here's the other thing with the Lakers. Then we'll get to the Clippers. I forgot. My fault. My apologies. DeAndre Ayton is also a free. He's got a player option for $8 million this upcoming year. He can opt out, be a free agent. Marcus Smart is also a potential free agent because he has $5.3 million. He can opt out and be a free agent. So Marcus Smart, DeAndre Ayton are also potential free agents. They're with Austin Reeves. All three players have opt-in years or opt-out contracts. So all three of those guys decide, Marcus Smart, DeAndre Ayton, and Austin Reeves could say, we're going to opt out, we're leaving.
Yeah, and I could see them opt out even if they want to stay.
Right. But then the Lakers have to sign them all to long-term contracts.
And the reason I say that is that was almost like you sign those small deals like that and you bet on yourself to see how you perform. Well, Aiden started to play a lot better, showing some of his old form. Smart, stayed injury free.
He's very
started
good.
showing his
right
form. He might say, "Hey, I can get a better deal somewhere and finish out my career the next couple of years, so and so place at a place that might even have an opportunity of winning." Not that the Lakers don't; they can too, but they may go to another team that needs a veteran presence, like a Marcus Smart, as far as defense and stuff like that. So those guys may not be back. They might not. I think it's going to be a turnover, situation. I think they have to, and I'm thinking LeBron got to go somewhere else. He has to. I don't think it's kind of hard pressed to pay that type of money again, but you're either going to pay him or you're going to pay Austin Reeves.
Well, and that's the whole thing.
That's the whole thing about it.
It's like, here's your unrestricted free agents. LeBron, number one. Chris Middleton, who's now with the with Dallas Mavericks.
Okay.
He's an unrestricted free agent. C.J. McCollum is also with the Atlanta. He's an unrestricted.
He might stay there. He could go somewhere. He showed that he could still play.
Tobias Harris is also an unrestricted free agent.
He showed something.
We also mentioned Hachimura is also an unrestricted free agent. We talked about him. Then Robert Williams III is also.
He's played well.
Now these are the players that have player options: Austin Reeves, James Harden, Kevin Durant, Trae Young, Zach LaVine, and Anthony Simmons are also player option. So those guys can all be free agents. And they can all opt out and become free agents. They usually do. So that's how your free agent class maps out. So that gets back to what are the Lakers going to do here? Because, Pelinka and the team, and now I have a new owner.
Right.
So they ought to kind of decide, okay, how do we want to cut the pie here, and what do we give the money? LeBron still playing at a high level, but he is 41. Do we keep LeBron, or do we re-sign LeBron for a year or two, or do we let him go? But again, LeBron's limited where he can go. He doesn't want to go to a terrible team. Like, he doesn't want to. That's the problem here.
Just
the
to
teams,
keep playing.
Right. Yeah. The teams you got with the salary cap that can afford LeBron, he doesn't want to go there because they're not any good.
Right.
So, and the teams he would like to go to, they don't have a salary cap, like the Knicks. I'm sure LeBron would love to go to the Knicks, but they really can't pay him. Especially if the Knicks win an NBA title, LeBron would love to get to the Knicks and get on this team.
Right.
And kind of help out. But again, that's if the Knicks want him. But the point is, I think the Knicks' problem right now is, I think it's obvious, they got to go after Mitchell Robinson and sign him.
Mm-hmm.
They got to bring him back.
Yep.
Because he's that defense. And they got to probably look at an extension to Karl Anthony Towns if they're going to keep him.
Right.
But that's why I'm not sure LeBron will be a Knick, just because I think the Knicks have other issues that they need to address. I just don't think they're going to give LeBron, but they could only give him that minimum that exception, that $5.9 million, as of the Golden State and the Cavs. People go, oh, LeBron wants to come home and play for the Cavs. I don't think so. Again, if they could trade for him, like there's this Giannis, you could play with the money. You have flexibility, but with him being a flat-out free agent, that limits LeBron and all these guys.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to find out what's going to happen. There'll be a lot of intrigue. That's for sure.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. I mean, this is what's good with the NBA that keeps us, but that's what they want. They want to get with football because they want to be like talking about it when they're not in season. Like football owns.
Yeah, it's just 24.
Because 24/7, 365.
Yeah, it is. That's year-round, nonstop.
Yeah, it's year-round. Nonstop.
And that's what like you said, they're getting the publicity now.
Right.
NBA a little bit more.
Yeah.
So it becomes a year-round thing too. But, and that's good. Try to follow that model. You probably won't catch up with that model, but if you can follow it and do some of the things that they're doing, it's going to be good for your sport.
Right.
Because that phenomenal model they have, that's why they just keep skyrocketing. with the money that they can make,
right,
and what they do, and then they not even just think the money they make, and they don't guarantee contracts all around.
No, football does not.
You know.
They are doing more of it, but they're still behind the other sports.
Right.
They're behind baseball, and they're going to be, and they're I think they're way behind NBA. NBA has the best contracts.
Right.
Baseball's right up there because they're guaranteed money. But baseball, they have more players. They have a lot of minimums out there.
Right. Yeah.
And it's a different deal because the teams like the Cleveland Guardians and Tampa Bay are very frugal with their payroll because they don't have the revenue stream that some of the other teams like the Yankees and the Dodgers, but they are able to win. Tampa Bay's in first place right now in their division, so is Cleveland.
Yeah,
they're winning,
sure, both of them,
and they're able to put a good team on the field, and they're not paying. They're at the bottom of the salary scale. That's why I know we talked about it, and the salary cap thing is coming up with baseball. But I keep harping on the fact is okay. You're going to go to the like the Clevelands and the Tampa Bays of the world, and the Marlins, who have put a decent team. You guys got to dump $50 more million in your payroll here because you got to get to the floor. I don't think these guys want to do that.
Right.
I don't know if they have the revenue stream to do it.
Yeah.
So that's a whole different discussion.
Oh.
But it gets back with, if you talk about contracts, the NBA has a cap, so does football, but they work around it. But I think the NBA is like the harder cap because you can only get, like I said, LeBron is very limited where he could go.
Yeah.
Where if he was in football, they would have more flexibility.
Do stuff, yeah.
They seem to do more with guaranteed and
everything,
bonuses, and they spread it out.
They'll take out whatever they were going to get them on their salary,
right,
and put it towards a bonus. They
right.
do all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have that flexibility in the NBA.
No.
And that's the thing.
You don't.
So
and that's the thing.
Yep. So it's going to be limited. But I'm so curious to what's going to happen. I'm even thinking about Jaylen Brown. Will he stay with the Celtics because of his comment? They took it as if he was slighting Tatum by saying this is the best season and the most fun he had, but he might have been telling, hey, I did a lot more. He wasn't even thinking. I don't even think he was thinking about anything with Tatum. He's just saying this one was rewarding to him. He stayed healthy. That was one. So I know it had to be better. He had been injured a couple times. This time he stayed healthy. He did a lot more for Boston, and they were able to see that he could do a lot more. So it was a rewarding year for him. But immediately, and we are a part of the media, so it's not like we're picking on the media because we are part of the media. But they blew that stuff out of proportion.
Right.
That caused a rift. And now the thing is, will he still be in Boston with Tatum? And I think he's if I'm not mistaken, isn't he the NBA player representative? I think he is. I think he's the top guy.
Well, here's the thing you have with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum is they're making almost the same money, like it's close. Jason Tatum makes like $1 million more than Brown, but Brown makes $53 million this year. Next year he makes $57. Tatum makes $58. It's like $61 million the following year. They are under contract. Both players are on. I say they're kind of joined at the hip. They're both under contract for 3 more years. Period. Right. No player option. Just a flat out 3 years at basically $60 million. I'm rounded off, averaging. They have roughly $180 million, and maybe a little bit more than that on their contracts for 3 years. That's guaranteed. That's in the books. They're not going anywhere unless they trade one of these players, but they are on that team for 3 more years after this year, getting basically roughly $60 million a year, little over that. But my point is they're going nowhere. So unless they decide to trade one of them. Now, Tatum's more injury prone than Brown. I don't think they go anywhere. I don't think Boston's trading either player. I'll be shocked if they do. I know that Brown made the comment. He got into it with Stephen A. Smith, and that's a whole different, day. But bottom line, give it time, it'll blow over.
Mm-hmm.
Give everything time, blow over, right?
Yeah.
The only time, like I said, it'll blow over. Those guys, I'm convinced Boston will not trade either player.
I think they, at least, from my eyesight, I mean, I don't know what goes on there, but it always seemed like they played together well.
They play fine together. The problem with Boston is they fall in love with the three-point play, and they keep shooting the three-pointer when they need to go to another option. Go down low, get a foul, work when you're point, and the three-point shot is not. But they're not the only team that does it.
No.
The teams all get into that, what do you want to call it, the three-point syndrome, where they just think we're down by firing. 10, and they keep firing it, and they keep missing it, and then now down by 10, now they're down by 20. We can get into it. We just need to hit 2 or 3, and they keep launching it and missing it, and then they flay out. And that's what Boston did last year against the Knicks. They lost 2 games because of that. They lost the series because of that.
Yep.
And that's what I have a problem with Boston is he's a good coach. I like that, but I kind of want to scream, stop shooting the three. Don't you have another option? Go to option B.
Yeah.
But when you look at the Boston, they got Sam Hauser long term. Derek White is coming into a contract year. They have to probably decide if they want to extend Derek White or out. But if I look at, and Pritchard is under contract for 2 more years. So their team is set. I mean, they don't really have to do a lot of crazy things. The question's going to be, do they roll the team back out? Tatum will be more healthy this year coming off. I still can't believe he got back that early from an Achilles. I'm just shocked.
Yeah. I mean, almost thought they... I can't say he rushed him because he said he's ready to come back. They said he was ready, but...
No, he made it.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
quick, though.
It's like, you're talking about we're the media, and it's like Petros Papadakis said this on 2 Pros and a Cup of Joe show. He said, look at, your sports media. Think of a department store, okay? And you have the hard news. He goes, the sports department, we're the toy department. We're the toy department. Don't take yourself too seriously because you're doing sports. It's not world news. It's not earth shaking. It's sports.
Right.
We're the toy department.
Yeah.
In the department store. So, just keep that in mind. It's look, man, I'm a journalist. Yeah, but your sports, come on. It's people take themselves way too seriously here.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I don't understand why they hop on these different things and then just beat it into the ground. Now, I'm not going to say I understood, but I do see why they did it. They needed publicity, more news.
Oh, yeah.
So they make up stuff. So
right.
But still, it's too much.
Yeah. Saturday Morning Sports Page, back after this timeout. Western Reserve Radio.
Western Reserve Radio is the Valley's online source for sports talk and local live events. Tune in and be a part of their live weekly shows, as well as all of the hard-hitting action of Youngstown Phantoms hockey, high school football, and the GDFL. Find them at westernreserveradio.com. Tune in and the Live 365 app to be a part of the area's sports conversation. Be sure to visit them on Facebook at Western Reserve Radio and on Twitter at WR_radio.
If I could be you.
And you could be me for just 1 hour.
If you could find a way.
To get inside each other's mind.
Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out. And for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/our stories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Want to know what I like best about high school sports? I love watching my son run on the field. I love the fact that since he's been playing high school sports, he's making better decisions. And I love knowing that with the proper equipment, education, conditioning, and coaching, high school sports here in Ohio are safer than ever before. That's something I really love.
This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. Saturday Morning Sports Page back. Pat Lucia, Dave Clark. 330-707-4202. Get in and talk sports. We do it every Saturday morning here. And here is Western Reserve Radio, Dave Clark. As we were navigating our way, really NBA front and center, the salaries now coming into play. What are these teams going to do in the offseason? LeBron James, I think he's probably the top free agent out there. Obviously looking for something. I would assume he's looking for somewhere in the neighborhood of about a $50 million deal, give and take. But there are not many teams out there that can offer him that.
Yep.
Or those teams that could are not playoff teams. And he obviously isn't going to go to a team that's not going to be a playoff contention.
Yeah.
Now, the Knicks and Cavaliers are two teams that keep coming up. Golden State, but they're limited on what they can pay him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, it's not like a trade where Giannis from Milwaukee, he's a trade.
Mm-hmm.
That's different. He's got a year left on the contract, Giannis does, and then he has that player option. And Donovan Mitchell, all the players that have that solid year left and then have that player option, that's when the teams want to decide if they're going to trade them, because that's when they can get the most value for them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be limited choices for him. But like you said, do you want to make that big move from L.A. or not? Or, like I said, just stay in L.A. and go right across town. And, he doesn't have to change his address, doesn't have to do anything. And still play for a team that's definitely in playoff contention all the time. If Kawhi can stay healthy enough, he stay healthy enough, and then you add some pieces around him, will they be a threat? It's always going to be a threat when you get guys that can play at that level that they have been playing at. You're always going to have an opportunity, but, it's not going to be – it'll probably be similar to what you got if you stayed as a Laker.
Yeah, and that's –
to a certain extent.
He's got the way the Clippers' salary is now. They're at $191 million. They next year they go to $121 million. Kawhi Leonard is on the books for one more year under his contract, $50 million. Darius Garland has got 2 years left. $42 million and $44 million. Now, John Collins is a free agent.
Okay.
So, and then Bogdanovich has got the team option, $16 million. They can keep him. Derek Jones, $10 million guaranteed. He's under contract. So,
when you look at the Clippers, they have flexibility there. They could afford LeBron and give him, say, a 2-year deal, give and take $50 million a year, whatever the option, however they want to work it out. But they have more flexibility under their cap. The Lakers are definitely they can afford him, but then they have to decide what are they going to do with the other players as far as they've got all those guys. The Lakers sadly have the whole team potentially could be all free agents, but Luka
and Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt.
Yeah. Everybody.
But everybody could walk out the door.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they would have to put the team back with the available free agents out there, whoever they are.
Yeah, we'll see what they
But
do.
if somebody decides to offer Austin Reeves a bunch of money, the Lakers have to decide we're going to have to either match that to keep him, or what are we going to do?
Yeah, and I do believe he's going to get offered from.
And somebody's going to offer him a bunch of money. Because you have
we've been making $14 million.
Yeah, 14.
Yeah,
yeah. You have these other teams there that on the lower end, like the Hawks, $127 million. They're basically looking to build their team,
and they got some good core young players too right now. So, you put some more. I mean, if you want to go the route of the OKC and the San Antonio, very young teams with excellent talent on there. San Antonio got some excellent talent when you look at Castle, Vestal, the other. I mean, they got young guys that can play, and they can be cornerstones for a long time.
Yeah.
So, do you want to go that way? That's the way Presti them put the OKC together. I mean, it's impressive what he's done.
Yeah, I mean, well, and that's what, to kind of give you an idea, the salary cap for next year is $165 million in the NBA. Then they have a salary floor minimum of $149 million. Luxury tax level is $201 million. That's the first, but the first apron is $209. The second apron is the big one. That's $222. That's the one where the penalties are pretty severe. If you get year in and year out, if you're in that second apron, you have to pay a lot more money. That's why if you listen to how these guys work it out, they like to stay preferably away from the first apron, but they don't want to get into that second apron.
Yep, because that's when
where they really get hammered. So, and obviously some of these owners have a lot of money. I mean, Gilbert for the Cavaliers, he will spend.
Yeah.
He's never, of all the Cavaliers have one of the best owners because he will spend money.
Yes, he does.
And he does not hesitate on, he doesn't care about a luxury tax. He will pay whatever it is. If he can make a winner in Cleveland, he'll make whatever he can within the, limits of the cap and the laws of the NBA as far as who he can sign and what he can do, but he will spend the money.
Right.
Never hesitate. He's got an open checkbook. He will make things happen for the Cavs. He is bringing the coach back, by the way. Atkins is coming back.
Yeah.
I know some Cavaliers thought they were going to fire him, but he's got 3 years left on his deal. He'll bring him back. But, yeah, you're talking about with the NBA, with the salaries, this is where it gets real interesting because you have certain teams now that you have a free agent class, and you'll see where a lot of these guys end up at. But then you have the team like, what are the Clippers going to do? And who do they go ahead and do they extend some of these players that are free agents? Or do they look at the free agent market and see what they're going to do? Like a Trae Young is out there. Where does he get, is he going to end up? Where's LeBron going to end up?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. That's why I say that keeps the interest in the NBA, So that's why it's a lot. We used to have dead times. I remember years back, we used to take months off before we would come back in the studio because it wasn't a lot going on.
No, there wasn't much going on.
But now, the NFL is definitely all the time. Now you get the NBA, and things is moving up in a lot of sports. Some things maybe not so good why they are, but even Major League Baseball, we hardly ever talk about that, but we have mentioned them quite a bit.
Well,
and then with the situation they got,
this is the last year,
yeah,
and the cap, and the rhetoric coming from the players
doesn't
sound good. And the owners supposedly want a cap. I'm still not 100% sure they do, for obvious reasons. I still keep thinking, and I'm thinking the teams at the bottom end of the spectrum, why do they want to pump a bunch of money into their teams that are doing good, like Tampa Bay and Cleveland are two examples of teams that are in first place. They have a low salary. Why do they need? They're going to need to put about $50 million at least into their salaries. But then the whole thing is this has to happen over a period of time because teams like the Dodgers and the Yankees, you have guys on long-term deals. You just can't get rid of them. You have to pay them.
Yeah.
So
I don't even see how it's going to work.
I don't know how it's really going to work. I know it's so easy to, shoot off the mouth. Oh, they got to get to a cap. The Yankees have to get down to $250 million. That's the cap. And sort of the Dodgers. And I'm thinking, Dodgers payroll's over $400 million.
Yeah.
How are they going to shave $150 million off in 1 year? These guys are all under contract.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the Cleveland Guardians and the Tampa Bay Rays. What are you going to have to then start bringing? What are you going to do? Start giving guys piles of money to get up to the floor?
I don't know.
I just look at these numbers and I just shake my head.
They had a chance some years back.
Many years ago, back in the 90s.
Yep, if they just went on and did it.
No, right.
But they didn't do it. Oh, no, we're not doing that. We're not going to take that route. Matter of fact, they actually, to a certain degree, kind of bad-mouthed.
They did.
The NFL on doing that. Oh, that's not going to work, blah, blah, blah. And now I'm sure that they eat their words for sure. You talk about eating crow. That's really eating it because look what the NFL is now. What a juggernaut as far as making money. In the Major League Baseball, as we always said, the pastime, it would have been right there if they would have maybe went that route. But they made it where certain teams that has the ability to have extra stream of money coming in were able to do that. Mainly those are your big markets that are able to do that the most. And that's what you got now. That's why you see the same teams over and over.
Right.
And you get upset. You get a surprise team here and there, but mainly those same teams, they got an opportunity.
They're always in the playoffs every year.
And then if you see a team that doesn't make it, like the Mets, you just got to figure there's got to be some continuity problem because when you look at that roster and talent on that roster, there's no way they should not be in the playoffs all the time.
And I believe they're in last place.
Right now, again, aren't they?
I believe they are. I know it's early to be checking, but
that's just a crazy roster talent-wise with big contracts. But
see, and that's the players can argue. That doesn't mean you can win.
Yeah, that's right.
And the teams that don't pay are winning. You don't need a salary cap.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday Morning Sports Page, what's up?
Morning, Pat. Morning, Dave. How you guys doing?
Hey, Irish Spike, what's up?
Doing well. Not much time this morning, but I wanted to check in with you guys.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Knicks swept the Cavs, and they announced on Tuesday that Kenny Atkinson's coming back for the 26-27 year.
Yeah.
And if you guys look at it, they talk about this in sports talk shows in Cleveland all the time this year. There was a lot of resistance by Cavs fans this year during the regular season. Now, if you call back last April or early May when the Pacers beat the Cavs in 4 games to 1 after they were eliminated in Game 5, Donovan Mitchell's made the comment, guys, next year, even if we go 82-0, no one's going to care. It's all going to come back to the playoffs.
Always does.
So you accomplished your goal by making Eastern Conference Finals. We all agree with that because and let's be honest, the East was down this year based upon the Boston Celtics dealing with injuries and Indiana Pacers dealing with injuries and Sixers and other teams going through a lot of stuff. So the path was this year. So you made it. But any of the goodwill that you created, guys, was negated by blowing a 20-point lead in the last 8 minutes of Knicks in Game 1 and then getting lambasted the last 3 games to get eliminated 4 games to 0. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I think I text you. I'm shocked, Pat, that he survived this. I'm even more shocked that the general manager said that there was not even discussions of letting him go.
He has 3 years left on his deal. I don't know if that matters.
Yeah, I was going to say, is Dan Gilbert tired of paying coaches not to coach?
Maybe he is.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he is, or maybe he just figured he did.
That with what he pays in that luxury tax and everything else, he might be.
Maybe he just didn't want to. He figured maybe, who am I going to go out and find the coach? Then I got to pay that guy, and is the team going to be that much better with the new coach? I don't know. But I thought that with the New York Knicks, and they ended up with Mike Brown, and when they fired Thibodeau, the Knicks did not have a replacement.
No.
Yeah.
And then
the rumor I heard, I know a guy's well connected in the Cleveland area with Cleveland sports because he hosts a show up there, so he knows. He gives me a lot of stuff about the Browns, Guardians, and Cavs, and some of it holds true. But he texted me on late Monday night that the rumor he heard is they want to bring LeBron back, probably in a sign and trade. They want to trade for the Greek Freak from Milwaukee, and they want to name Jason Kidd head coach. So obviously that's not happening with Jason Kidd. Now the other 2 scenarios could play out. They can't stand pat. We all agree with that, correct? There's no way they're standing pat. James Harden's coming back. We all know that. We knew that in February.
Well, he's
he's going to rip up his deal and get signed a 2-year deal. But so who's going to go is my question.
Well, if you look at we were looking at their salary, and this is the part with Cleveland, though. First of all, I don't understand. Like with LeBron, he's a free agent. There's no trade. They have no. He's limited on where he can go because of the cap. Like he can only get that $5.9 million exception because he's a free agent. There's nothing. He's not even in. He's a flat out free agent. So if there's
correct, but they could do a sign and trade though, Pat. Correct. I mean, because LeBron has stated he doesn't want to do that league minimum stuff. Allegedly, the only 2 teams he said he would give a deal to was the Lakers and San Antonio Spurs were the only 2 teams that he would, give a nicey nice to. As far as he wants to make his $45 million next year.
Okay, but what Stephen A. Smith said, and this was a while ago, and maybe I don't because he's same thing with the Knicks, the Golden State, and the Cavaliers because of where they are with their salary cap. They can't afford LeBron, but I don't know. He's a free agent. If he was not a free agent, they could. We talked about it. Like Giannis is not a free agent. You could trade for Giannis because of the fact that you've got flexibility with. You can match the salary. You have got nothing to match up with LeBron because he's a free agent. They don't owe the Lakers anything. He's out there. So I don't know, like a team with the Knicks being where they are and the Cavaliers, they're the 2 top teams in the NBA on salaries. I don't know how they could sign and trade. How do they sign? They have to get rid of salary? But anybody they trade.
I saw for LeBron would be Jared Allen would go to the Lakers for LeBron. Jared Allen, a draft pick, would go to the Lakers for LeBron, and Evan Mobley and a couple draft picks would go to Milwaukee for the Greek Freak. Now you lose Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, you're 2 rim protectors.
But then
2 big guys.
But LeBron's under no contract. But you see, there's nothing. LeBron is not under the Lakers. He's not with the Lakers any longer. He's gone.
But he could sign with them, though, correct? They could do a sign and trade.
I guess they could technically, I guess what he could have to do then is he would have to sign the deal with the Lakers.
With the Lakers, and then they could trade him.
And then try to trade him to the Cavaliers.
Because technically, guys, in going back 16 years now, LeBron did not sign as a free agent with the Miami Heat, even though he did.
Right.
After it was all the emotions got out, it turned out to be a sign and trade, if you remember correctly, because it got him more money in Miami, and it got Cleveland draft picks they needed to move forward. So he's leaving anyway, so let's get something back in return for him. Yeah. Ultimately, you've always said, Pat, on all your shows, the players have all the control.
They always do.
And that might happen.
That might happen.
Because they're going to want to keep Reeves. Like I said, I think they want to because he's a younger guy.
He's younger, and they got Luka.
Yeah.
And they want to roll Luka and him out. So they would sign LeBron to a contract of $50 million for 2 years with a player option, say, for the second year, and then haul him and trade him off to the Cavaliers for Mobley, because Mobley's contract, and then they would just take on Mobley's contract. Yeah, you're right. They could probably do that. I didn't think of that, but you're right.
They can get him and Giannis in Cleveland.
Yeah.
They just got to get a decent big man.
Yeah.
They can play that center position.
I mean, the only other tradable piece, Dave, we know is your three tradable pieces that people would crave around the league would be Donovan Mitchell, Jared Allen, and it'd be Donovan Mitchell in this order. Donovan Mitchell would be 1, Evan Mobley would be 2, and Jared Allen would be 3. So those are your three tradable parts that can bring back value.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Well, it's going to be interesting.
Honestly, I was listening to Brian Windhurst the other day, and he does not think Donovan Mitchell. He's got one more year left on his contract.
Right.
He just finished his 9th year, but he would make more money. He could sign for 30% of the value of the salary cap after this year, or after next summer, it could be 35%, which would mean probably $8 more million a season. So he believes Donovan Mitchell will wait, with the idea of he's definitely come. I know Lucia saying when you take a chance, becomes an unrestricted free agent next summer, but he could sign for $8 million more a year next year compared to this year, and he can make like about $67 million a year beginning in 29 season.
So
if he waits another year,
if they made those trades you was talking about, they would have Giannis, LeBron, and Donovan.
Yeah.
Yes, if they traded. It said Jared Allen in a draft pick, the Lakers for LeBron, and then Evan Mobley, the Cavs first-round draft pick this year, and the Cavs first-round pick in 2031 to Milwaukee for the Greek Freak.
Yeah.
So you would lose Jared Allen, you would lose Evan Mobley, but you would add the Greek Freak, and you would add LeBron James.
Right.
To the current with Donovan Mitchell and James Harden. That would be your big 4.
Yeah, that would be your big 4.
They would have an opportunity.
There's your shot.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how they would
obviously, it's for the short term. It's for a year.
It's only because
2 years. It's not 4 or 5, as we all know, right?
Right.
Well, Harden is he's got the opt-out for $42 million.
He's going to do that for sure. With the idea, he's definitely coming back to Cleveland. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, he's coming back to Cleveland. So it's a matter of, does he opt out and sign a 2-year deal at $56 million and give the Cavaliers
Dave Clark, I have a question for you, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
After the game ended Monday night and they got swept 4-0, did Donovan Mitchell and James Harden save Kenny Atkinson's job after the game? They talked about what they loved him and didn't want to see him leave, so they both spoke out on his behalf. Do you think that helped Dan Gilbert and upper management to say he's staying?
It might have, because I really thought he was going to be gone.
Me too.
From that collapse from the first game, and then the rest of the series just getting beat like they got beat. Yeah,
I was surprised he stayed.
I didn't think. I joked in Storm Tuesday he won't have a job by noon. I said by noon today there'll be an announcement Kenny Atkinson's gone, and my buddy texted me about 3:00 and said you were 100% wrong. He's back.
No, he's back.
And that shocked me. But then I didn't know after the ball game that James Harden and Donovan Mitchell spoke out on his behalf and talked about how much they loved Kenny Atkinson.
Yeah, well.
And did not want him to go anywhere. So I don't know if that affected ownership or not, but clearly he's back.
Yeah, well, he get these players. If let's say all that comes to fruition, he better come out on fire, because the pilot light will be on high when the season starts for him, I think. Because you holding on to timeouts when you're getting an avalanche coming at you, I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah, I don't know. I was shocked. I was shocked too. I didn't think he would survive.
No, I really
me either.
I really thought Gilbert would say, "Look, we need a new voice. Pay him the 3 years left." He didn't care. Gilbert doesn't seem to care about that. But I think maybe you're right. I think Harden.
Because he's still paying Bickerstaff, isn't he?
I think he is. Yeah, I think he's. They get the offset.
Oh yeah,
that's
right.
Where they can get by some with these coaches is they get the offset. They all have usually they all have offset clause. So if Bickerstaff went to Detroit, anything Detroit's paying him, what's his name, Gilbert would owe the difference. But if it matches, he doesn't owe him anything.
Right. Okay.
And I realize, Pat, their goal, if you go back to September training camp, their goal was to reach, at the very minimum, reach the Eastern Conference Finals. So they did that. They advanced further than they've said since LeBron left 8 years ago. But how you got there, and you historically blew a 20-point lead in 8 minutes in game one, and then you got swept, and you look like Bosa the Clown the last 3 games. You look terrible.
They look
like
bad.
that's when everyone starts saying, this just feels different. I mean, we got there, but we're not even close to being competitive with the Knicks or, let alone San Antonio or the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah.
Or you just look at the Knicks got hot at the right time, and it didn't matter.
Good point. That's a good point.
That was just they beat Detroit Game 7 and embarrassed Detroit in Game 7, the number 1 seed. After losing 6, they won Game 5 and 7 in Detroit, so there's your hope. And maybe you just think, look, you write the Knicks off as like a one-off, that the Knicks got so hot, it wouldn't matter how well we played. We weren't beating these guys because nobody was beating these guys. They caught
kind of
wind.
like Indiana Pacers last year got hot. You said the Pacers got hot.
They just got hot. Everything fell into place. I've never seen the Knicks play this good. I'm a long Knick fan. I've never seen this team ever play half this good. I mean, this team is playing unbelievable.
6 weeks ago, Dave Clark, there was a guy sitting right next to you during the Atlanta series when they were down 2-1 and says Mike Brown's going to get fired after his first year.
Oh, he was. No, he was. That was the
remember
word
that,
in
Dave
New
Clark?
York.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, he was gone. Mike Brown was gone. If they would have got beat by Atlanta and went out 4-2 to Atlanta, he was out. Oh, that was all over New York. I mean, that was it. Mike Brown was out the door. Now he's compared to Joe Torre, who the Knicks, the Yankees hired as an afterthought. Now they're saying, oh, Mike Brown's a lot like Joe Torre. Remember when Joe Torre got hired by the Yankees in 1995?
His first year there.
Yeah, and they were going to. This guy's not any good. Why are we getting a recycled manager? He's not
retread.
right.
We call him retread,
right? And that's what they were getting with Mike Brown. Now he's Joe Torre, but now
but he made a great decision by saying, let's run the offense through Towns. We're going to do something different. He didn't sit on his laurels and just wait and whatever happened. He went and did something about it, and it changed everything. Unleashed Bridges.
Yeah.
And he stuck with him. That's enough. Now, that was big because he could have benched Bridges because he was just playing horrible, but he didn't. He stuck with him. He believed in it, and he stuck with him. And then when he made that change, it just unleashed everything.
That just made them a new team.
Yep.
That was a new team.
And he used his bench, something that
Thibodeau did not.
He would not use his bench.
Nope. And Mike Brown developed that bench. And he figured out a good rotation with that bench, and that bench responded.
Yep.
And all these guys you never heard of are playing playing unbelievable.
Yeah.
Shamet, Landry Shamet. I mean, he keeps making 3-pointers. He's not missing.
Yeah.
I hate to say that because who knows, he may go stone cold when they get in the finals and the team could go back to where they could be and they could get swept in the finals. I mean, I don't know, but I just hope they keep going.
Right.
Yes. Hey, you gentlemen have a great weekend.
Thank
Thanks for
you,
taking my call.
Mike. Dave Clark.
Yep.
Okay. Saturday Morning Sports Page. Next week, back at it. Everybody have a great, safe week. Do not drink and do not drive. Buckle up. Saturday Morning Sports Page, Western Reserve Radio.
Someone's got to set the tone out there, boys. Someone's got to set it.
The station that sets the tone for Youngstown Phantoms hockey is Western Reserve Radio. WRTV, The Scourge.
Network. It's a Game 7 Saturday. Oklahoma City Thunder taking on the San Antonio Spurs. About 15 minutes from now, we will revisit some of the trends to know for Game 7. Thomas Gable will join us in a half hour as we will find out the betting action so far. Plenty more still to come for that pivotal Game 7 in the Western Conference Finals. But, I like to man the mornings here on Saturdays. But the gentlemen who man the mornings during the week, Jensen Lewis and Dave Ross. One of them is on the road in Morgantown, West Virginia. Jensen Lewis joins us right now. You can see him coming up at noon Eastern on ESPN2. He'll be on the call of Wake Forest Binghamton And then later today on the SEC Network, West Virginia and Kentucky. It is the Morgantown Regional. Jensen, appreciate you jumping on. You know, we always love for March Madness to be crazy. We need to start calling it May Madness because yesterday was wild. And I want to get your perspective. I know you were working yesterday, calling your games, but to see UCLA lose, how big of a stunner was it for you? Did you believe they were this untouchable force that many were portraying the Bruins to be?
Great to be with you, buddy. And you're right. We have March Madness, and now we have May Madness in college baseball. And, you know, UCLA, the first #1 national seed to lose its regional opener since the format went to the way it was in 1999. Not only that one, but it has such a huge implication here in Morgantown because for people not familiar with how it works, if you are a national seed and you win and that top 8 national seed that you are linked up against ends up losing, then it's an automatic host for you in the super regional round. And West Virginia has been to the Supers the last couple of years. They fell in Chapel Hill in 2024 and then in Baton Rouge against LSU last year. But the stage is set and kind of the road is there. And as far as UCLA goes, Tim, only 2 of the previous 6 top 4 national seeds were able to come back and win their regional. And so UCLA is in some hot water. They got their work cut out for them. A remarkable day, not only for them. Number 4, Auburn lost as well. Number 9, Southern Miss. And then also Florida State fell in Tallahassee after a long rain delay. So 4 of the top 16 seeds lose their opener. That's tied for second most since the regional format went to its iteration in 1999. So, buddy, we are going to be scoreboard watching a lot over the early window to see what happens with these 1 seeds for sure.
Yeah, UCLA will play Virginia Tech later today. We will see Auburn try to avoid elimination as they were knocked off by Milwaukee. So, yeah, it's going to be a wild day. Jensen will be on the call of Wake Forest and Binghamton coming up at noon Eastern on ESPN2. So give us the breakdown of the winner's bracket game in your pod there. You've got West Virginia at home, as you alluded to. It's the Morgantown Regional taking on Kentucky. What should we expect later on today at 5 Eastern on the SEC Network?
Winning in comeback fashion yesterday, Tim. Wake Forest out to an early lead. They would get it up to a 3-0 advantage. And then really Kentucky just kind of stuck with it. They had a big inning against the Wake Forest bullpen and then a really puzzling defensive play where Jace Tarnish had stolen second base and then took third. Really, it looked like defensive indifference the way the left side of the Demon Deacons infield fell asleep. A wild pitch happens a pitch or 2 later. That's your difference maker in Kentucky steals game 1, 6-5 to move into the 1-0 game. West Virginia taking care of business yesterday. Really an outstanding pitching performance from Chanson Cole. He was 6 strong innings, 10 strikeouts, only 1 run allowed. And this West Virginia faithful, they put it away pretty quickly. 2 5-run frames to win going away 10-1. They will send their Big 12 pitcher of the year, Max Yale, to the mound tonight. And what a story this guy is. I asked him, he's a hockey player by trade, but a big physical presence. And you'll appreciate the Mighty Ducks reference here, Tim. I said, do you have a little Fulton Reed in you? And he said, oh, yeah. The intensity is there. So you're going to get a real dynamic arm there from West Virginia. They were the leader in the Big 12 in team ERA, 9th nationally. So this team is built with a huge stable of weekend rotation arms. They've got a good back end of their bullpen. And now Kentucky will probably send Nate Harris to the mound tonight, a very competent starting pitcher. He did miss 3 weeks before coming back in Gainesville against Florida in that series finale. I think we're set up for some theater tonight. And I got to tell you, Tim, it's my first time to Morgantown. When you see the scene that we will set later on tonight, it is standing room only. And for people that will be up on the hill overlooking, that is free admission. We've already got people pulled in, tailgating here for the Mountaineer faithful, and I would expect an absolutely raucous atmosphere later on tonight.
I would expect nothing less from the people of Morgantown, West Virginia. I know our guy Brad Howe somewhere is smiling and he's fired up for the West Virginia Mountaineers. I mean, there's going to be multi-screens going on because I think Morgantown, West Virginia, #1 will be cheering for West Virginia. But as you pointed out, they will also be big Hokie fans today if the Virginia Tech Hokies can knock off UCLA because, as you pointed out, it's such a great point. West Virginia would host the Super Regional if UCLA were to be eliminated. So we will see how it all plays out. Jensen Lewis joining us here. Jensen, as a former, MLB pitcher, I was actually talking to my wife about this a little bit yesterday, saying, college, these coaches, I'm not throwing all of them under the bus, but it's do or die now. They're going to throw a lot of pitches on these guys' arms. How challenging is it for these pitching staffs, especially, Jensen, if you lose game one and now you're kind of throw a wrinkle in it? I was talking to Matt Grissom last hour. Northern Illinois wins last night. Such a great story. They used all 3 of their weekend starters to get that win. So how challenging is it for these head coaches, and how taxing is it for these pitchers, because they might be going deeper into games, coming on short rest, and they probably haven't done that all that often?
Certainly. Just by the numbers here, Tim, if you win game one, 93% of regional winners are those people that are into that 1-0 game, and then it goes to 82% if you start 2-0. So coming out of the loser's bracket, you hit on it perfectly. You expend so many pitching resources to try and get through as a double elimination setup here. And you will have some of those teams that maybe push chips to the middle, be having to pivot to some guys that maybe haven't pitched a lot of leverage innings. I can tell you in just this iteration, you brought up the Hokies, potentially if they were to steal the Los Angeles Regional. We were talking with Steve Sabins, the head coach for West Virginia, on Thursday during the workout day, and we were hearing that some of the resale market tickets were upwards of $2,500 just to get in to this regional. Imagine what a border war between Virginia Tech and West Virginia would look like for a get-in price for that super regional. Still a long way to go here. But yeah, Tom Hart and I on the broadcast yesterday were saying, if you thought it was bananas here already, wait till what next weekend might potentially look like here in Morgantown.
Jensen, I know you got to go to work here in just a moment, but big picture from what we saw yesterday, was there a team that really stood out to you that made your eyes pop a little bit when you went back and watched the highlights from a busy Friday?
Yeah, I would say, Tim, number 4 Auburn, right, falling the way they did to the Horizon League tournament champion Milwaukee, and it was just a bludgeoning of one of the best pitching staffs in the country. That was a shocker to me. I looked at Florida and kind of pegged them as a team that I felt was Omaha-bound, looked like they were coming on strong. They needed 2 different comebacks against Ryder yesterday. Brandon Lawson hits a walk-off home run to escape there as number 8 national seed Florida able to win their opener. Very intrigued to kind of see what happens now on the bottom side of the bracket. And at Florida State, another top 1 seed, they fall yesterday after having to wait through a rain delay. That's the biggest thing we'll be monitoring here, Tim. We got nothing but 70 and sunshine, but a lot of precipitation that's going to affect some of those southern regional host sites, and we'll see what that does as far as depleting pitching resources for teams having to come out of that elimination bracket.
No doubt about it. VSiN by the books, weekday mornings here on the network. Jensen Lewis, he'll be on the call. ESPN2 coming up at noon Eastern, Wake Forest and Binghamton, and then 5 p.m. Eastern, West Virginia, Kentucky on SEC.